right. Well, Steve, thank you for jumping on the call today. I appreciate it. What my goal was of this phone call was just to kind of get out there. This is Community Connections with MVB, and wanted to connect with a member of the community and tell me a little bit about yourself and what you do. Steve?
Sure, Matt. Well, thanks for inviting me on here today. So what I do is I'm a real estate broker. I'm the owner and broker of Realty-By-Design, and we really focus here in the greater Placer County area. And our office is out of Loomis right now, but that's kind of what we do. And obviously there's been a ton of stuff going on right now. So I would love just to kind of give you a little bit of feedback on kind of what's going on, as I see it.
Yeah, I wanted to kind of, find out, with what you're seeing, every industry is being affected differently with what's going on right now in the virus. And I'm just kind of curious what you're seeing and how it's impacting you, and maybe the changes or things that you're doing, or how the business is adapting during these times to help families out there that still need services in real estate.
Sure. Well, of course, the big thing that happened, obviously, with the COVID-19 pandemic is Sacramento County and Placer counties both are, are basically in a shelter and stay in place mode right now. So that's kind of what's going on. About a week after that happened, the governor came out here of California and deemed real estate, residential and commercial real estate, actually as essential services. So that gave us at least the ability to kind of work. But things have really dramatically changed. I am getting a lot of calls and a lot of questions, like, what's going on with the real estate market and all that. So one of the places I kind of like to start is, what things are the same and what things are different right now. And, from that perspective, can we even buy and sell real estate right now? The answer to that is definitely yes, because we're continuing to do like we always have, signing, all of our disclosures, our contracts, addendums, everything that we do from that perspective are all signed electronically. So no problem there. Things like home inspections, pest inspections, and even escrow and title functions, all of those are deemed essential services as well. So we could definitely get those done for you as well. The obvious things is, how do you view a home and what's going on from that perspective? So we obviously have some tools that I could talk to if you want, and kind of tell you what we're doing there.
Yeah, I mean, that's kind of, I'm curious because, being in mortgage myself, I will be interviewing a number of real estate professionals, and, I wanted to get as much different perspective and, ideas out there to our local community, people that, want to know what to expect, what the process is, how different people are handling it, because I've heard different approaches to everything, but, it's kind of rest assured that it's been thought through and that there is safety in going through the real estate process today, and kind of, maybe if you want to just touch on maybe one or two things real quick that, you are doing specifically for your company with Realty-By-Design, and how you are approaching it during these times with shelter in place, and you want to take it from there.
Absolutely. Well, one of the things, the California Association of Realtors, as well, CAR, as well as National Association of Realtors, NAR, they both are huge organizations that are very professional. Obviously, at Realty-By-Design here, we are associated with both those. We're members of both of those groups. So they have actually come out with a lot of information for us and some guidelines. One of those is they actually came out with for California here, they came out with a Corona addendum. And this is, I think, a win-win document. Basically what it does, buyers are potentially scared right now. What's going on with the market? What if I make an offer on a house and then can't really view it as well as I like? Well, the Corona addendum actually puts some other contingencies on behalf of the buyer. So it kind of protects it'll go as far as protecting their security deposit, and can also help with the close of escrow. So if that gets pushed out beyond the dates because of the COVID-19, then they are still protected. So that's an awesome document. We also have a lot of disclosure. So if we're going to show a home, for the most part, showings are really, really tight and pretty much closed down. There are some exceptions to there. So if a home is vacant, and if all parties agree, there's actually a disclosure we need to have everybody sign before that happens. But if you're okay with that, you can still view a home, whether it's a vacant or occupied home. If it's occupied, the homeowners definitely step out of the house. We'll go in, make sure doorknobs, that kind of thing, are disinfected. We'll come in with gloves and masks and just do our best to, common sense to protect the parties. So that's kind of what's going on from that level. Honestly, though, a lot of the listings that are on the MLS right now, they're not letting people come in. Just the owners are not willing to do that.
Yeah, I've seen a big push in virtual tours. I know that that's something that a lot of people are doing right now to kind of have a happy median, and
Yeah,
I
sure.
discussed with somebody too, like, hey, if they didn't have a virtual tour, what's stopping the sellers from doing a video to sell it, to give the seller's agent to pass the buyer's agent to the buyer? So you could technically see the pictures online, tour the home as if you're walking throughout it, make an offer. And yeah, it's not the standard practice, but I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, then there's safeguards in place where maybe it takes a couple of weeks that they can go out and tour the property before the deal's probably gets too far along, but they'd have sufficient time with this new addendum that's in place for the coronavirus that they would be able to tour the property, make sure it's what they thought it was, and still have safeguards in place for both parties on both ends of the transaction should it not work out. But there's still ways that people are getting business done. I'm seeing new deals get into contract daily. I'm seeing listings pop up daily. So activity is still going on in the market. I guess that's the main thing. Probably both of us want to get out there is that hey, we're open for business here on the mortgage side. You guys are open for business on the real estate side, and there's ways that we're circumventing the concerns that are out there in the market.
Sure. So that is obviously something else that we're doing here is a virtual tour. So those are the 3D images where you can walk through and kind of arrow through and look at everything. Those are awesome. Another tool that we're using right now is what we're calling virtual open houses. Again, we have to have buy-in from everybody before that happens. So what happens with the virtual open house is usually myself as the agent will go there with permission. There's no one else in the house. It's just me. We'll do a virtual open house. We do a lot of social media advertising, so we get a lot of interest in that open house. It's for a period of time, like a 2 or 3 hour window, just like a real open house. So what happens is any buyers are available to join that Zoom meeting within that 3 hour window or whatever it is. When they call in, then I can actually take my iPad, walk through the house. What happens there is it's like, oh, what is that right there? Can you open that cupboard? Can you do this? So it is as close to it's close to as a real walk-in as you can get it. So that is also available. But the fact of the matter is I can only control my personal listings. Everything else that's on the market, obviously, hundreds of listings still are out there on the MLS. To make that type of virtual open house, obviously we have to get approval from the listing agent as well as the owner to allow me into the home. So those are some other options that we're working on. But like you said, with the contract, contracts is what we do here. So we always protect our client, make sure our client knows where they're going and how they're getting there. That's kind of our motto.
I love that. So with that said, what do you think of the market, and what do you see for the rest of this year? Like, give me some outlook of what people maybe should expect, or what you think might happen, or
Sure. Well, real estate always lags the stock market and everything else that's going on in the economy. There's always a lag. We do have March stats right now, and I was just looking at those today for both Placer and Sacramento County. So these are obviously for the month of March. The first half was pretty good. The last half was pretty crummy, as you know. So there is some of the data some of the alarm of the coronavirus is in these stats. And honestly, what you see is in the month of March, we can start with prices. That's the big thing. Are prices going up? Are they going down? In Placer County, we were averaging $255 a square foot, which is a peak. So prices in the month of March went up. As far as volume, it's not significantly different. It's slightly less, but not a lot as far as the number of houses, as well as the number of homes that went in the contract. So that's probably down about 30% as far as the number of homes that went in the contract. Sacramento County is similar. Their price per square foot is also at a peak in the month of March. So it's kind of too early to tell. I'm very optimistic. I think our economy is going to bounce back. Even if the economy goes into a recession, honestly, of the last 5 recessions that we've had in the U.S. Over the past 40 years, of the past 5, only 2 of those recessions did we see a price decrease in real estate. One of those 2 there was the 2008 recession, which was a recession directly tied to the recession happened because of the housing market. Right. We're not in that scenario whatsoever right now. So I don't, even if the country goes into a small recession, I don't see home prices being affected. That's my viewpoint at this time.
Well, I was having a conversation this week about it, and I said, I believe that if this didn't happen, the market would be on fire. All signals were the rates are all-time lows or near it, or hit all-time lows this year, and are they're not there right now, but they're within the range and above, just a notch above historic lows. So with housing stuff being a supply and demand shortage, what's going on, the market would be on fire right now had the virus not hit. So that's my personal belief. So with that said, I think this creates a great opportunity for first-time home buyers, like anybody south of probably the 450 price point that has struggled or maybe has been shopping for 6 months plus to get an offer accepted. I had that exact thing happen this month, which was I've been shopping, VA buyer, we got beat out here and there. There's a number of reasons why the property didn't work out and certain ones didn't happen. But the long story short of the conversation is that it became a perfect, storm for him where he had, choices of multiple homes. We got the offer accepted, same day on a price point, and I think he's for a great deal. So, I think there's a great buying opportunity, even if the market does slow down. The demand is way going to outpace the supply still, in my opinion. So sure. It could be a great opportunity for first-time home buyers or people who have been sitting on the sideline waiting for some sort of pullback. Everyone's like, oh, wait till it pulls back. Well, this might be that pullback that everybody has been signaling, because if this hadn't happened, business as usual, I think the market would be on fire right now. Spring and summer are just typically hot selling seasons anyways,
Absolutely. We're in a very different situation than we were in 2008 as well. As you look at the amount of equity really across the whole U.S., the amount of the average homeowner, the amount of equity they have is at an all-time high. In 2008, that was not the case. So that really, when you have a stake in the game, so to speak, when you own a home and you have $100,000 equity, even if prices were to go down, which I honestly don't think they're going to drop, if at all, not very much. When those things start happening, when you don't have equity, that's when everyone just starts, cutting loose and running. I don't see that happening at all this time. We're in a very different situation for sure.
Yeah, I tend to agree with that. Steve, what's a kind of an ideal client? What's somebody that do you think would be great should reach out to you that maybe has been on the sideline? Tell me about what you think would be good.
Sure. Well, from a seller standpoint, the thing about real estate is there are life events that continue to happen no matter what's going on. And there's, obviously there's a number of those. If you're in that situation, absolutely give me a call. We can absolutely still do a great job marketing your home, putting it on the market even today and moving forward and doing that. A conversation. Information is power. So, I kind of look at it when I get a call from a client, the first thing I do is really try to talk to them and understand what their goals are. So if you're a seller out there that really needs to sell, and you're worried about any of that, give me a call and we can definitely go over that. It is absolutely still doable to, get you top dollar even in today's market. If you're buying, this might be a very awesome time because the competition is less for you. I would work really close with them and you, Matt, to make sure, as they need to be absolutely pre-qualified for a home loan, unless they're a cash buyer. And that would obviously give us a little more clout there as well. But if they need to get a loan to purchase a home, definitely need to be pre-approved and work on that. So this is a perfect time to do all of that. And then, again, give me a call if you have any questions. But what I would do with those buyers is we would view as much as possible virtually, which will be a fair amount. And if you see something you like, we'll write an offer, and in that purchase contract, we'll build in some safety nets for you as a buyer.
Yeah, and I think, being that you're doing these virtual tours, it's not the normal process, not everybody's going to, that's where the value is. If not everyone's going to go into there, that means you're probably going to get a better price point. Like again, that VA deal I was telling you about, like it was in a 385 price point, big backyard, remodeled inside, like sweet home that would have line around the corner, typically like in this market if the virus was there. So, I wanted to share a success story about things that I'm seeing. And, I agree with what you were saying. And I won't give all your secrets away for them to contact you, but Steve has a buyers and sellers scorecard. It's unique. I've never seen anything like it. And, if you contact Steve, he can go over and give you your buyers and sellers scorecard, tell you how to rate higher, score higher, which gets you a better deal essentially on selling or buying a home. And it's pretty sweet. So contact Steve if you have questions, if you'd love to get pre-approved. Of course, I can help you with that on the mortgage side. And Steve, how do they contact you? What's the best information to reach you?
They could either email me or they could call me directly. So a direct number for me is 916-705-8537. If you want to email me, it's Steve at Realty-By-Design, and that is realty-by-design.com. Steve at realty-by-design.com.
Perfect.
Sure.
Well, thanks, Steve. I appreciate you taking the time to jump on the call today and be my first interview on Community Connections with MVB. And I appreciate you taking the time to speak to everybody. Have a great rest of your day, and thank you so much.
Thank you, Matt. Thanks for the invitation, and great job for all you're doing as well.
Thank you. Appreciate it. Talk to you later.
All right, bye.